from our last tale.
Snow, what are you going to do without me? And a broken tune in Terran's voice is carried out on the wind. But now he stands alone, bends down, scoops some of the blood pooled at his feet, and he holds it up to his mouth to drink. And I hope you won't forget that you still have your side to complete of our little bargain. And at the window, he takes the gun and holds it out. And he presses the trigger. This deafening shatter fills the room as the glass sprays out. You see that across her chest and going down towards her arm, a line of blood. And Ste'yn, you also, somewhere, right on the edge, is a dream you forgot. Looks like it got left over on the rack because it has some spots on it. Bag of holding.
How much is it?
125.
Okay, I can do that.
Sure, you can start readying it for the 7 now, and we'll take the rest to add up to 17 later.
No. You just told me 14.
I mean, did you want to buy the cart?
I mean, do you want to get a black eye?
As you guys start to make your way out of the town of Hazelford with a group with you, you guys start traveling. Were there things in particular you wanted to do while you were traveling?
Yes.
Snow, what you got?
Snow first is going to identify the 2 healing potions that we got because he said that he would.
Oh yeah, I
Oh,
forgot
that's right.
about that.
Oh, actually, before
Yeah.
we even continue all that, Snow and Beau, can you make me charisma saving throws, please?
Okay, I put the other die away because it gave me a 1, so... Alright,
Probably wise.
24.
wait, what was it again?
Charisma saving throw.
17!
Hey! Similar effect to last time. Welcome to the cart. Oh, Beau's gonna have such a day. So you were identifying Snow?
Identifying the 2 healing potions that we got from... Who was that? Who gave it to us?
Daffy.
That was Daffy, right? Yeah, just because he said that he would, he's going to identify them and make sure that they are, in fact, healing potions.
2
Just the
standard
basic
healing
healing
potions.
potions.
You got it. That's what you find.
Sweet. And then he's also going to take out the sending stone. It's time for the daily check-in.
Let's go!
Theo sending stone.
So he takes out the stone, and he says to Vivia first,
Oh.
This is a magical stone. It allows you to talk to someone anywhere in the world. But here's the fun part. We don't know who has the other stone. It could be anyone. What do you think I should say?
Anyone in the whole world?
Anyone in the whole world.
Wait, do we know
What should we
where
tell
they
them?
are?
We don't know. It could be anywhere.
Oh, okay. Can we tell them that, that I'm Vivia, and that's my brother Luca, and my sister Glia, and my little sister Rosie, and my mom and my dad, and then 4 adventurers are here. And we are on an adventure, after we killed goblins.
Hello, this is Snow once again checking in. I am here with the marvelous Vivia, all of her wonderful family, and the rest of our companions. We have just slayed so many goblins. We are feeling pretty powerful. I hope you are having a fantastic day.
But just
And-
been saying.
Technically, I don't think y'all hear a sending spell unless the stone is different than
Oh,
the
I thought
spell
it says
sending.
out loud.
But for the sake of Vivia, he is going to say all of it out loud anyway.
Oh, okay.
Okay, cool. And she's
Because
just
she
like
has to know.
biting her fingernails. She's like so excited.
Wherever you are, hope you have a fantastic day. This is Snow, and he holds it out to Vivia to say her name.
And Vivia,
Signing off for the day.
what do they say back?
He listens for a moment. Is there a reply?
Your call did not go through.
There's no
Please
This
leave a
number has been
message.
disconnected.
And do
Please
not
hang up and
dial
try again. The stone bursts into flames.
Womp womp. I assume there's no reply.
There is no reply.
Apparently, it was a man named Samson, and he said, "Thank you for the update, and if he ever needs anyone to take on, like, a mountain troll or something, then he knows who are the strongest adventurers to come ask."
That's it. Wait, I just got it, Snow. Wait. I know what you should call yourselves.
What?
You should call yourselves Vivia's Adventurers. It even, like, sounds cool. Vivia's Adventurers. It sounds so cool.
Does that mean you're hiring us or paying us?
It means she's our
Yes.
patron, a patroness.
Yeah, patronesses.
What does that do?
Pay the people.
I can do that. I can pay you. And she goes into her, she's looking around and she finds her little pouch again, and she starts reaching in and she holds her hand out, and it looks like 4 copper pieces. Give me a perception check.
Well, Beau is sitting, because I imagine, so does the cart have like an open back to it, or is it like a hatch type thing, like you move up the back and then click it?
I think for this one, the back would probably be secured. So like it could also be potentially like, no, like, yeah. There'd be like a back and you'd be sitting on either side, and then there'd be the front where a rider would be.
So he was just gonna sit on that thing, facing the back, so he's not watching everybody.
Facing the back.
So
Oh,
so
Facing
it's like
behind us.
facing. Yeah, so it's like one of those really old '90s cars where it had like the 2 seats in the trunk that you would face like.
He just has
Okay.
his back to us as we
Yeah.
ride.
Okay, got it. Then he doesn't see that she pulls out actual money. Give me a perception check, everyone except Beau, apparently.
Well,
Yeah.
I'm assuming Viola's
I got a
driving,
dirty
so
20.
Oh yeah, she probably has her back to people too.
Dirty 20.
Fair enough.
With
So you
disadvantage.
actually...
Wow.
Nice. Wow. So you see... Wow.
Wow.
You see... Stop!
What is it?
I can't!
Do you see what I see?
I'm about to
I
go
don't.
spam! Like the cat. Emote, my favorite emote. Spam! So what you see is actually 2 copper pieces and then 2 more darkened buttons. But she holds them out thinking it's 4 copper pieces that she found in her bag. I can pay.
Oh, that is far too much. So, I'm going to give you a little tip. So, adventurers, usually for our missions, it depends on what we're fighting, of course. But honestly, half of that would be enough. And he just takes the 2 buttons and he hands one of them to Ste'yn.
Beau's gonna like have a very sour face. He's gonna turn around and see how much she actually has.
In her hand now is 2 copper pieces.
He just has a look of complete disbelief and disgust, staring.
So does that mean I'm your patroness now?
It does.
How about
So,
mascot?
Now we have to do whatever you
Wait.
need us to do.
What's the
When
difference
Viola
between a
hears
patron and a
that-
mascot?
Mascots don't pay us.
when Viola hears
she
that,
already
she's
paid
gonna
us,
say,
so-
"I thought Buttercup was our mascot."
Oh, you already have a mascot, so I could be your patroness.
That's true. And this is more than enough. And he will put the button not with his money, but in his vest pocket, where he keeps only the important thing.
Ste'yn slides hers under her glove to be with by her holy symbol.
Aww.
Beau's going to conjure up his die, and he's going to address Ste'yn and Snow, Viola. Can I have a word?
Sure, go
Well, right
ahead.
Okay, well, he's not trying to have it with everybody, so he's gonna create a mind link with all 3 of us, because he could do that now.
Vivia is talking about the different kinds of adventures that she's going to go on. She's going to ask you guys to go on, and she promises that, like, she's going to be there with you guys, and she's going to use her ribbon to, like, trap them while you guys beat up the bad guys. And she has a whole spiel while Beau is talking to you.
So he
That's
got
so
a 4, so we have a mind link for 4 hours. And then to each person, like, one by one, so I blacked out again. What happened between, I think food showed up maybe, and then we were leaving. And by leaving, I mean we were on the road.
You don't remember going to the store?
We went to the store?
You went to Walmart
Well,
without me.
You and Stan did.
Huh. What do we get?
You got
I
some
don't know. You haven't
components.
said.
Okay, good. I
Some
did
of
get...
his spells. Yes. You also sold your old armor and the bow. You don't need a short bow anymore. You already have the short bow. And
Inspiration.
you
You can't make the joke a third time, though.
No. I know the rules of comedy. Okay. You gotta wait. You gotta wait a long time before you drop it again. So. But
As
yes,
much
so sure.
as I don't care for them staying, do you know if there's any kind of temple in whatever this place we're going to?
Hayden's? I doubt it, given how not fond of the gods many people are. It's unusual. Razia is distinct in the size and the scope of the temple that it has. I haven't even seen something like that before in Zaylee or in Forwatch or Drenfeld. We're not likely to find much in the way of temples and clerics other than free-range acolytes. Until
Could
we
this
get
be
back
like
to
a
Razia.
hex or something?
I don't know. I can try to see if I can recall anything like this. And Ste'yn's going to try and see if she can recall anything about memory loss things in magic.
Just in general.
Particularly the sort of blacking out sessions that he's having. Like, is this something she's maybe heard about before in her travels or encountered before or anything like that?
Okay. You can roll, and if it's just about the magic itself and something like that, you can roll an Arcana check.
So I asked y'all to buy something cool. Did you find anything cool?
Let
That
me
is a whopping
ask.
7.
Ste'yn, did we find anything cool for Snow?
Oh, we got a bag of holding.
We did. Snow, we got a bag of holding.
Yes! Excellent.
With a whopping 7, you know that
know
there
all
is
about it.
magic that can modify one's memory. How it might work with no one around casting it and what that range might be doesn't seem to add up to what this might be in particular. But if that were your lead, spells that involve memory, even that doesn't seem to add quite up. I'd say you get that with a 7.
Okay.
Do any of you know if I read this goblin note yet? I was gonna say that.
I can read it if you can't read it.
What?
We have a
Since
goblin
when?
now.
Since, I don't know. I've been spending more time outside and I've picked up a few things.
Well, if you can read it, I will take it. No, does this cart have like a top to it, like a bonnet or whatever they call it?
Mhm.
Okay, because I was just gonna have him walk on the corners of it, but I guess not. Oh, he'll walk in between everyone, and then so is the is that like a cart where it's just like a one seat in the front, or is it actually wide for like the
No,
steering
it's a-
part?
It's like a bench.
Oh, it's more like a bench.
Oh, so it's
It's
oh, he's
fairly
just
wide.
gonna go up to the bench area then. Nothing.
Yeah, I mean, so I would say that up front would probably either mom or dad might have been sitting up front, just so, like Viola wasn't sitting by herself. Like I'll say dad might have been up front, Sebastian, to accompany
But
Viola.
never mind, he'll go back to his seat when she's done with the note.
He could move if you'd like to ask him to move or something. He's not steering, he's just sitting there. Just
No.
friendly old man conversation.
He's just
Friendly
gonna
old man.
it's gonna pass Viola the note.
Viola will take it and read it.
Viola, you understand and can speak Goblin Cat?
Yeah, that's a language that she understands now.
What a fun surprise
I woke
that
up
we
like
didn't know
this.
that.
Just woke up with 2 new languages.
So what the note says in its terrible penmanship, as goblins are not known for their great penmanship, it says, Muck Thingy gotta tell Lord Slimebin. Can't sleep good 'cause of new pets. Growl loud. Ain't like Meanie Bear, but gobbies laugh at Muck Thingy. Muck Thingy ain't scared. No one sleep good.
Viola reiterates that to Beau through the mind link and adds.
Well, he's standing next to her now, but I guess she could still do that if we don't want to.
I don't
Yeah.
know if she wants
Yeah,
to
but,
read
like,
it
why
out
say
loud
all
next
that out
to
loud?
Sebastian.
Yeah.
So he doesn't think that she's lost it.
Yeah, he
He's
just.
looking over. It's like, oh, what's all that?
Are you sure you understand it? Maybe nature didn't really give you the gift you thought it did.
I don't know. I mean, it doesn't mean much to me. Maybe it's just not very smart. Maybe it's code.
Not very
I don't
smart.
know.
Both of you give me an investigation check.
Ooh.
13.
Investigation. That is a 23.
Between the two of you, you put your minds together. Beau, you kind of lean more into it, but you recall where you found this note. You found it in the barracks, the goblin barracks. The way that they describe what's there, like meanie bears, right? You might think of like the bugbears or something. But whatever this goblin muck thingy is talking about is meaner than the bugbears that were there.
Oh, I was assuming it was just the gnolls. Because they were talking a lot.
Yeah,
making
you can
noise.
definitely assume they were talking about. But what you, Beau, put together is that where you found it, which was that right barrack, the lower barracks, the fact that he's saying it growls loud, right? I can't sleep, indicates that potentially there was another fake wall near that you guys walked past and did not hear a second gnoll that was in there waiting to kill somebody.
So I waited all this time for that. Can I have the note back?
Viola will hand it back to him. Also,
He just rips
just
it up
to-
and throws it off to the side.
You okay there? Oh, never mind. Never mind. And Sebastian
don't-
minds his own business.
No,
Don't
I'm
ever
doing
question
fine.
anything he does. In the mind link, Viola will ask Beau if he remembers her telling him about the dream that she had, because she can't remember if it was before breakfast or after breakfast or.
I'm sure you have plenty of dreams.
He does not remember.
Or was
Okay.
this like a specific one? Like you actually dreamt it? Or are you just talking about like you want to have a house?
No. Beau, do you remember the dream that I discussed this morning? Yes or no?
No.
Okay, and so then she'll reiterate about the seeing the man and all of that, and she'll also tell Beau that she thinks that the man in the dream was maybe Amos, and how since he deals in weapons, it could have something to do with that, and maybe he's linked to the dark in some way, providing weaponry for them. I don't know.
We should try and get that gun. It could be useful.
You know? It's
You hear
funny
it on
you should say
repeat.
that. If anything, you are consistent, Beau.
Oh, I'm guessing I said that before then.
Maybe something along those lines.
Well, better us have it than them, it sounds. Probably.
Yep, you're right. When you're right, Beau.
Alright, I'm gonna find myself a familiar for the next hour.
Does that mean we're gonna have a pet?
It means I'll have a pet.
Can I pet it?
Sure.
Yes. And Viola does visibly like.
So you guys we'll kind of almost montage the days too. We'll give you like whatever significant thing you want to do that day. So you guys travel. It's a relatively easy day. The first day goes by. So you guys have discussed the note. You've discussed Beau losing his memory again.
Beau makes a familiar
And-
bat.
Beau makes a bat. How long does the familiar last? It's an hour
Not
long?
want to pet it.
No, so the ritual is an hour, but the familiar lasts until it gets killed. Or unless he,
Oh.
like, ditches
Or
the ritual.
dispelled or something.
Yeah.
You just have
'Cause
a
you could-
pet bat.
Yeah, you could pocket dimension it into places.
Okay, you have a pet bat now. Cool. And you guys by the end of the day, you find a good spot. You can make camp and keep watch. You guys have a watch order.
Well, Beau's going
Two
to...
things.
Oh,
Go ahead.
Oh, well, I was just going to say what he's going to do. He's going to do alarm for the camp.
Well, Snow provides the camp as a tiny hut,
Oh, you picked that.
which can hold up to 9 of the 10 of us.
Beau will off to sleep outside.
So you can do alarm around the hut and wherever you're sleeping, and we'll be pretty well protected.
Yeah, and the alarm, he rings his bell and like with the string, and then little spiders come out of his bell that are black, and they set up these strings within the radius that the alarm does, and then the strings go invisible. So that's how the alarm gets triggered, is basically going through these webs.
Vivia was watching the whole time that you made that happen, and she thought it was the coolest thing to watch those spiders like crawl around. So how does the alarm work? Is it anyone who comes into
So
the space that is
alarm-
unwelcome?
So it is, I'll read it. You set an alarm against unwanted intrusion. Choose a door, a window, or an area within the range that is no larger than a 20-foot cube. Until the spell ends, an alarm alerts you whenever a tiny or large creature touches or enters the warded area. When you cast the spell, you can designate creatures that won't set off the alarm. You can also choose whether the alarm is mental or audible. He'll opt for mental. A mental alarm alerts you with a ping in your mind if you are within 1 mile of the warded area. This ping awakens you if you are sleeping. An audible alarm produces a sound of a handbell for 10 seconds within 60 feet.
You all know that sound anyway. You'll just think it's Beau being Beau.
Well, that's why I was opting for the mind one, because it also wakes you up.
Yes. Yeah, Vivia was watching, and she's like, my adventurers are the coolest adventurers. And she's just like squinting, trying to see where it went. Can you show me how you did that?
Well, you...
I'll show you another button.
Well, didn't you see? It took me 10 minutes.
But like, can I
He
do
can
it?
show you again tomorrow when we make camp again. And maybe that time he can give you some tips so that you can one day do it yourself.
Okay. It's gonna be so cool. I want to see the little spiders. They're just like, and they just crawl up the web. It's gonna be so cool.
Yeah, you could practice the words for now. Which the words were elk do who le half sky.
Elk poo in the sky.
Close enough for now.
Sounds right to me.
Nailed it. And you guys settle into your evening. And are you
Just
still
stay
doing
and
watch, or
keep
you're leaving the
the
alarm
bag of
to be?
What was
Just
that?
stay and keep the bag of holding.
She'll show it to the group and basically ask who wants to carry it. She doesn't mind carrying it, but she's not attached to it.
It's not her vibe.
She'll offer it to Snow. You wanted this.
Thank you very much. I did indeed. I hope it wasn't too expensive.
Not at all.
Wonderful.
Okay.
He is going to put inside the bag of holding the water skin of blood, the ruby, because he figures it's better for that to be in a different dimension.
Let's hope that helps.
Sorry, people in the other dimension.
There's no one in the other dimension. It's a pocket dimension. It's not
The
another-
familiar is
not another
floating
plane.
around in
Till freaking
Not how
arms
the
of
bag works.
Yeah, I
Hagar
know.
show up.
Not how the bag works. He's also going to put in the 2 poisons that he has, as well as the 2 books that he has, and 2 of the potions of healing.
Is anyone else putting anything inside of the bag of holding?
Ste'yn had put 2 50-foot lengths of rope in there.
Good old rope.
So I'll take those out of my inventory and you can add them to the bag of holding in yours. Oh, the pot of awakening will go in there too.
Probably wise. Okay. And y'all can think about what it is you
Yeah.
can add in there. Excellent.
Beau, once everyone goes into the tent, is gonna sneak on off to go hunting.
Okay. Are you guys relying on the tent for the instead of a watch?
I think we'd still
Not the tent,
do
the
a
alarm
watch.
rather.
Well, it's tiny hut. Nothing can come through it.
Yeah. The only person that's in
Including
danger
spells.
is really Beau.
How big is the hut again?
It is big enough for the 9 people. It
So
is a
space-wise, I
uh,
think it doesn't take up that much
10.
like space, but inside it's like expanding, kind of like those tents in Harry Potter. If you remember.
Okay.
No, it is a. It's not bigger on the inside. It is
Oh, really?
specifically a
There's just-
10-foot radius, so 20-foot diameter, immobile dome of force. The spell ends if I leave the area, the caster. 9 creatures of medium size or smaller can fit inside with me.
So wait, 9
Creatures and
with
objects
you.
within. Yes.
So 10.
Oh, so that's still 10 total.
Beau is not gonna sleep in there with all those people.
I know, but it's 9 with you, so it's 10. We think. We are interpreting.
Okay.
That's fine.
All right.
I'm down for
Works
it.
for me.
Yeah, right.
Creatures and objects within the dome, when you cast a spell, can move through it freely. All other creatures and objects are barred from passing through it. Spells and other magical effects can't extend through the dome or be cast through it. The atmosphere inside is comfortable and dry, regardless of the weather outside. Until the spell ends, you can command the interior to become dimly lit or dark, which he will when we all go to sleep. The dome is opaque from the outside of any color I choose. I will make it look like the grass that it is on, whatever the surrounding is. He will make it the same color so it blends in. And it is transparent from the inside.
Oh, Vivia loves that. And the parents are ready to go to bed fairly early. You know, you guys can have your meal time, and then they are pretty ready to sleep whenever you guys do. Vivia tends to stay up late. She'll be sewing or drawing or whatever it is, and alternating, it seems like Luca or Glia stay up with her. Just alternating on these nights. There's only 2, so first night Glia stays up with her. Tomorrow night Luca will stay up with her. Beau, give me a survival check real quick.
Ooh, this could be bad. So right now it's a 6, but could be
And then
7.
Beau, come on, Beau,
Well, it's
get
a
it
long-
together.
It's a long night.
I know. Okay, I mean, I'm doing like a general, like an overall, like
Yeah.
how we did tonight. Yeah, it's not impossible to find something, but it's just not gonna be. You didn't find the fatty squirrels who are prepping for the winter. You found the lavish squirrels who don't think they have to. But it's not gonna be a good catch. It's less than ideal. Finally, morning comes. You guys drop the camp and your spells and make your way. Beau, can you make me a charisma saving throw?
Excuse me.
Yes. Shall I repeat it?
Did I stutter?
Oh my
Did I
gosh,
say-
I got 8.
All right, you guys sit out. It's a little cloudier today, but you do know. Actually, I forgot. Cadence is actually only 2 days away, not 3. Gratimino is 2.5-ish days
Yeah.
away, but you should be at Cadence by probably if you just push it, you could probably be there at nightfall, like at this night. To which Vivia has this realization and is very excited because they're gonna be home. In hours, they'll be home again. And she starts going on and on about all of the things that are waiting. She says that she's really hoping that even if it's not as many people, they're still getting ready for the Harvest Lambs Festival. She's hoping that troops will come through and perform. She's hoping merchants will come through and sell toys and things like that she's gotten before. And she's overall very excited about it. Is there anything in particular anyone wants to do today? I'll give you all like one thing if there's something you want to do in particular.
Ste'yn is still trying to recall that dream because she thinks it's probably connected to the circle of blood and she would like to know what the heck was up with that.
Give me an intelligence check.
Did we get a long rest that night?
You did! You're not exhausted anymore. She'll do much better now. Natural one.
That
I'm
is
not
a
person.
23.
23.
Yeah.
Ste'yn, as you guys are... Let me get to you in a moment. Is there anything else anyone wants to do? Want to be sure. Don't feel like it's super duper final. I'm just curious.
Snow
It's okay.
does want to start reading that journal, the one that was from the doctor.
Lovely. Give me an
just
investigation check. If you're gonna look
Okay.
deeper.
Yeah. I mean, he's a pretty fast reader. He will just start reading the entire thing from cover to cover. Not all in
Sure.
one day, but just like, you know, a little bit the first night, a little bit the next night.
So as of
Continue on.
yesterday, you were reading.
Yeah.
Correct.
And Beau's been reading
Throughout
the book that he got,
trip.
the biography that he has throughout like the times.
Oh, the one he attempted to salvage.
Yeah. I mean, you described
Okay.
it as salvaged.
Investigation, you said?
Yes.
16.
As you start to read it, there are a fair number of entries in here. It's not like it's a decently sized journal, and there are a lot of entries, but it almost seems like it's in, you know, that like scientific type of terminology, so not all the words kind of click as to what exactly they mean. But with a 16, you get the gist of what you're reading through. You're reading through entries, cold and calculated, that involves experimentation. The people and creatures that are being experimented on certainly don't seem like volunteers. It's broken down into a number of steps. You realize as you look through entries and take notation, every new entry has a similar template. So it seems that first, the step is to note immediate reactions to something that, whatever that chicken scratch is, the way it's described, it gives you this really awful feeling, something dark. So first it's noting immediate reactions. And then the next step is separating into either Group A or Group B. Group A seems to be a more natural progression of these experiments, kind of just letting them sit amongst wherever they are and just naturally sort of, a word that pops up is adapt to the environment. And this environment is clearly toxic, whatever it is. Group B, and you kind of get this chill as you see the words accelerate decay. It seems to be simulating whatever Group A is, but quicker. The third step appears to be test the resilience of these subjects. How well are they faring? How well are they standing up to this environment? And then the last thing, and this sends this chill down your spine, as it seems to explain, the last step is to destroy the failures that simply didn't die on their own. So I'd say on your first day, you'd be able to pick that up, going through the journal, just this kind of a template of what this doctor was doing. I'll have you roll again for the second day of reading through it. While you do that, Ste'yn, what was that roll again?
23.
As the card is moving forward and you kind of start, you have that nagging feeling, like if you just focus, you can remember what's going on. You can remember this dream. You kind of close your eyes and you concentrate and you open your eyes again. You're not in the cart. You're not on this road. You are on a different cart, a different wagon. This one is bigger. It almost looks familiar for a moment as you see an overhang, this kind of, the tarp is reaching out over the bench and you are sitting up front on this bench. And behind you and around you, you kind of see some broken items, some kind of jostled items. And on the ground in front of you too, this wagon is stopped. It's not moving, there's no rider. It looks like it was attacked at some point and you're just kind of sitting in the wreckage of it. You're looking up at the stars, kind of just waiting, sitting. And you know you're going to be moving soon enough. You and the person with you. And then you hear that person speak. You made up your mind then? Your mouth opens to respond. I suppose I have. Crying shame, too. I'd have been stronger than even Crag Patron. Matron ain't pleased. She said, whatever needs to be done, do it. I would have, too. You hear this kind of sharp laugh. Tildoma clubbed sense into you. And you feel yourself answer again. Yeah. Well, I got a new language out of it. I hardly did anything at all. Moved a stone, told a ghoulish thing it looked pretty. Besides, what girl doesn't want to hear she looks pretty? And I got an upgrade, too. And you see yourself holding up a sword. You hold it up, and you can see it against the sky now and against your surroundings. These dark clearing, or a clearing with some trees a little further away. These trees look kind of old and dead and broken. And as you're holding the sword out now, it becomes very clear. You hadn't been paying attention, but it becomes clear now that the air around you is very misty, foggy, but it's this weird kind of black mist. And the sword is shining against it. And as you look, you now realize you hear the sound of something hissing, bidding, coming closer to you. And you can see these little dots that as they get closer, you now see they're just these small monsters that almost look like slimy, muscly, chicken-like things with their tails are these strange muscles that split in two and kind of slap together in this disgusting noise. And you're entirely surrounded by these things. But they're small, and you and your partner can easily handle them. You hop off the wagon, sword drawn, he has his weapon in hand, and you start sawing through them. Not a problem at all. Until the sheer number just starts to overwhelm you too. And you have this sickening feeling in your gut as you're so focused on these little chicken freakish things that you slipped up. You made one stupid mistake, just one, as you see that you were so focused on these creatures, only now do you recognize someone in the tree line. This figure is hidden beneath a dark cloak. You see an arm raised in your direction and a deft movement of the hand. The hand is covered in this brown leather glove. It's this like supple and well cared for leather. The thumb and the index finger are stitched without ends, whereas the other three are all covered. So you can see this fair skin of the hand, but only for a few seconds. As it moves, and almost immediately the paralysis begins. You hold your sword forward, the lettering in giant cant on the blade looks clear, but your mind just can't comprehend it. But there's a second set of letters. These ones are infernal, and they look powerfully clear, written just in front of or towards the tip of the sword before the giant cant. And you see it reads, "Dream with your eyes closed." Just as you become completely petrified, full paralysis, and the sword drops from your hand. Something comes closer, but even your vision is kind of blurred now as you're sort of losing consciousness. But you feel it. You feel with this sharp, horrid, indescribable pain as something strikes right at your neck and a shattering that follows. And the next thing you recognize is a shallow pit. And you have this out-of-body experience looking down at this frozen stone body. The entirety of the upper torso from the shoulders and up, gone. and only the jagged remains of the rest of the body there, lying in this kind of shallow grave. And the sense that this should not have happened, that this was unearned. And right beside it, as the feeling in your mind kind of shifts, you see another small grave. And in it, a much smaller body. This one is in a pitch black swaddle and laying on a bed of roses. And this body is slowly sinking into this dampening earth, swallowed by the muddy ground that reeks of this coppery tang and this stinging smell of burning as you snap back to the wagon. Who is sitting back there with Ste'yn?
In the back of the wagon?
Mm-hmm.
Isn't everyone else besides Viola?
I mean, like, I don't know, you had some weird positioning where you weren't looking at anybody whatsoever, so. Viola, are you driving again? Are you riding again as you guys
Yeah.
are heading out?
Yeah,
Okay.
she would plan on driving unless someone else was like, actually, she'd just probably drive, even if Sebastian was like, hey, let me. She's like,
Beau, were you back there then again too?
Yeah, he would probably be in the same spot he was before. Like the previous
Okay.
day. Oh, it's not
Snow,
gonna
give me a
matter. He's
perception.
gonna forget this anyway.
Snow, give me a perception check.
Just 10.
I guess that's fair. Okay, yeah. All you kind of hear is this little gasp as Ste'yn kind of wakes up again from this sort of half dream. But that's all. It's just she's back to while you were going through starting the second day of your reading of the journal. Ste'yn,
All right.
you feel beneath your armor, because you are back in your full armor, you feel that dampness on your chest again. You don't feel pain as if it's like, other than the like lingering memory, you don't feel anything other than that. You don't
Ste'yn's
feel like you've
gonna-
been cut.
Like, try and feel it and see if there's actual blood on her fingers when she pulls them back out. Like,
Mhm.
just
Again, it's just that like crusty, old, not much comes up.
she'll
Alright.
look over at Snow. And quietly, she doesn't want the family to probably hear or take notice of this. She'll just say, I know what happened to Colaine.
Colaine.
Yes. I'll tell you all together later. And she's just looking at the bits of blood on your fingers, and
Alright. Are you okay?
I'm not sure. Not hurt. Just a little bit shaken.
Now just puts a hand on her shoulder.
Stan looks over to see what the baby's doing.
The baby is actually she's covered right now because mom is nursing, but you imagine she's content because she's getting fed.
Good.
Snow, how did you do on that check for the second day of reading?
24.
Wow. You know how excited I was for you guys to read the things that you've had for like a minute.
Just been waiting for a chance.
That's fair. That's totally fair. You spend more time with this book, and I will say you'd have to spend a decent amount of this trip. So you keep going, and you're going through these entries, and you realize that there are no names used on any of these subjects because names simply aren't important. Only age, sex, and race, along with standard. It seems like standard vitals were taken before the experimentation begins. And there are a couple of subjects that you see have asterisks next to their names. You see the age ranges. Well, I'll also say the 24 that as you go through it again, you realize that whatever this toxic environment is, it is dark. And I don't mean just it's dark, it's spooky. It is the dark. These people were subjected to being within the dark, whether it's the bands, whether it's somewhere deeper, whatever that could even mean. The age ranges for various human experiments. The first one that pops out to you, there are half-elf experiments. This age ranges between 25 and 111 years old. Various subjects. You see gnomish experiments, subjects. The ages range anywhere from 50 to 140 years old. You see human experiments. The age range there, at its high end, is 67. Its lowest end is 11. And there was one full elf subject, a female, upper range of the 300s. The age, that young age of human experiment, the human subject, I'll say that stood out enough. You could peek at it. It was an 11-year-old female, and what was noteworthy was that this experiment continued. It's the second longest on record, with a record of 670 days going through these tests. By the time this human arrived, there was approximately already 2 months worth of exposure, as the notes say. She was non-combatant so long as her guardian figure was present. They did add isolation to the experimentation methods. It notes the aptitude of the will in sustaining light. There were fluctuations of will between periods of isolation, and overall resistance did lower over time. The subject withdrew without permission prior to poison test. That's what you get from the journal. Beau or Viola, was there anything in particular you guys were looking at today? Because by evening, you will be arriving in Cadence.
I don't think he has anything left to do.
As you guys are kind of traveling, you're talking amongst yourselves. You guys hear an excited shout from Vivia, and you see her kind of reaching out of the wagon and spinning her ribbon dancer, just really excited as city lights come into view. Just, watchtower lights and such. And there is there have been like a steady stream of like, as you get closer to a town or a village, small wagons or larger wagons going past you. And there is a couple that are kind of joining the path and coming up as you guys are approaching the town of Cadence. You get in. People are quick to assist you with your horses and your wagon. They're happy to keep them there for you overnight, or if you plan to set out again, they're happy to give them water and food if you plan on riding into the night. You're less than a half day's journey, I think, from...
Was there any part during that day before they got to the town that we make another charisma check? Or is it just the entire day is going to be blocked out?
Oh, gosh. Yeah, no. Yeah. Here. Yeah, give me a charisma check. You should have been like, that's what I want to do today. I want to make a charisma saving throw. Charisma saving throw, I should specify. Yeah. I'm sorry.
Oh, it's saving? I mean, it doesn't matter.
It's saving throw.
21.
Lovely. I didn't ask you yet at all today, did I?
You did in the morning on 8.
Oh, that's right. Okay.
Yeah, that's
morning...
what I was wondering if... At what
yeah,
point?
No, by like midday, by like noon. Flashback. Oh. We set out. Oh my gosh. So you know the rest of the journey in, but you missed the morning. But you guys arrive in Cadence. The Sebastian approaches you, comes back around, and he's already helped get all their what belongings they have off of the wagon. He's basically trying to hold them all like he's their own pack mule. He's holding everyone's belongings that he can. Certainly not letting his wife hold anything, or Vivia. And he says, to you, Snow, I have to give you something. You guys got us here. I know it was an easy trip and all, but maybe people backed off because they saw you. Regardless, we're incredibly grateful. Thank you. Can we give you something? Can we give you anything? Do anything for you? Are you staying tonight? Are you...
Snow will look at the others. What do we want to do? Do we want to go ahead and get over back to Grotty Minnow, or do we want to stay the night here first?
I think we want to get back.
He looks a little sad.
All right then.
It's like, if you're sure. And Vivia is already like dancing and spinning around, and she's looking up at a notice board and like pulls Glia over and is pointing at something, and Glia's just kind of laughing and patting her head and fixing her braids around her it's no longer a proper flower crown. It would have wilted by this point, but she got some new flowers and is like fixing that in her Vivia's hair.
Snow will be sure to provide Vivia and Glia as well.
Yay!
With flower crowns. And at this point, actually, Snow, since they've been together this whole time, Snow would have asked Vivia what flowers she wanted specifically and what colors. And he would have done whatever she requested.
Beautiful. So then there's these little buttercups that are in Vivia's hair now from her flower crown. As you're saying goodbye, or as Sebastian's saying goodbye to you, Vivia comes back over. She doesn't even she doesn't say anything about it. She just runs up and just throws her arms around Snow's middle, just gives him a big hug. And she does the same thing to Ste'yn. Does not ask, just does it.
And returns the hug.
Yay! She goes over to Viola. She like leaps to try and get her arms around like Viola's neck and like leap up and hug her. And then she runs over to throw her arms around Beau.
He jumps back.
Give me a dexterity.
Is that an
Give me a
athletics?
dexterity. Yeah,
Or
dexterity
acrobatics?
athletics. Acrobatics makes more sense.
It's got a 6.
Really?
Yeah.
You're getting hugged.
You got a 9 with no modifiers because she's a little girl. You start to run and she just kind of like skips and just puts her arms around your middle. Thank you for killing the goblins. We would never get here without you. And then she jumps back. And I hope you like your button.
Thanks.
But if you guys did want to stay, it looks like there's gonna be somebody is celebrating and they're gonna be playing music tonight. And if you wanted to stay and listen to music, that would also be fun. I want to stay. Dad, can we stay? And
You live
he's
here.
Not listening. What? No, I mean
That's not
stay
what she
up
means.
and music.
Sadly, we have our own home to get to.
Sorta.
But I do want you to have something to remember us by, and he's going to give her the rag doll that he cleaned up. He didn't get a chance to perhaps enchant it with anything like he had hoped, but it's clean and it looks much better than when he found it.
She takes the rag doll and she like holds it in her palms as if she were like holding a baby, and her eyes are just glowing. And then she takes it and kind of turns it around, and she has her little purse, her little pouchy thing, and she's now sitting the rag doll, so it's leaning against her chest, sitting on the opening of the pouch, and its legs are just kind of flopping like they're sitting down. And she says, "Thank you," and she'll watch the show with us, and then we'll tell you. Can we write to you and tell you all about it?
Of course.
You sure
I
you
love
don't want to
getting
stay?
letters. I really wish we could.
Okay. It looks like it's gonna be really good, but I'll just have to tell you about it.
You'll have to tell us all about it. And be sure you keep the rest of your family safe. You're the protector.
Oh yeah, I'm the patroness. I'll call on you
That's
when
right.
I'm ready.
We'll always be there.
It's gonna be so fun. She could be our new mascot. Puts it on her shoulder now. Does
What's
she have
her
a
name?
name? I was gonna ask you! I think I'll name her... I don't know yet. I'll tell you in a letter. I have to think about it. It's very important, your name, you know that?
It is.
Mm.
Name is
I
an
love
important
her.
thing.
Names are okay. Anyway, I think we need to get going.
Okay. And Glia and Luca also thank you guys. Glia, she reaches into her bag and she has a series of sketches. She has 5 sketches that she drew while you guys were doing your thing, and she gives it to you and she says, "Look, I told you we're not poor, we're not wanting, we just needed a way home. But this is probably the best I can get right now. I don't actually have a ton of money, but just a little something. Thank you for helping us." And she hands it to you. And it is a small stack of just bust portraits of the 4 of you. One is Viola up front with the horse, and she just has this kind of beaming grin, and you can just make out like Pistachio's head near her, and he doesn't look mad. One
This
is
isn't accurate.
I did my best. One is Beau, and it's just like it's a picture of Beau's back, but his head is turned so you can make out his profile. And it's just this, it's not the same evil look, it's just a grimace. But like there's a little smirk as if maybe he's not super mad. It's just like a little smirk on his lips. One is Ste'yn, has a very calm look about her. This very calm demeanor as she's kind of staring up. And it looks like there's some color added to this one to make kind of a sunset view behind her. It almost looks like a burning background, but it's her kind of looking back towards the sunset. And then the last one is Snow. And it's Snow with his wand his staff in one hand, and then just an enormous kind of display of flowers. It's not in a crown or anything like that. It's just flowers. And off to the sides, where it looks like it might be petals, it actually looks like they're little butterflies kind of escaping this bundle of flowers. The fifth one is like a smaller portrait of their family. So there's Vivia, there's Glia and Luca, the parents, and then baby Rose. It's like, just so you don't forget. And you don't think that I forgot. I remember. And I'm not gonna do stupid things. Cross my heart.
Thank you very much.
This is beautiful.
Okay, if you're not staying and breaking my poor little sister's heart, then go. Thank you. And she's gonna go off with her family. Kind of looks over her shoulder one more time and waves. All right. So you guys are gonna finish the trip to Gratimino?
Yep.
And once we set off, as soon as we're by ourselves, Snow will turn to Ste'yn. And what happened?
I remembered what I dreamed a couple nights ago.
You had a dream too.
I did.
Sounds like we all did.
Yes, and
Well, Viola
wasn't
had a
from my own-
dream. I forgot this conversation. Nobody recapped that
You're-
part.
you're forgetting more things. Well, we'll definitely try to get that figured out back at Gratimino. No, this dream, I learned what happened to Colleen. I saw it all from her point of view. And there was a figure. Oh, Stan sort of explains the whole thing that she saw with the midnight chickens and the figure coming up and the petrification and all of that. She leaves off the part about the baby that she saw. She keeps that to herself. And she just explains it, and that shouldn't have happened. That wasn't something earned. It wasn't something that was meant to be.
What defines what's meant to be?
It's hard to explain.
From what it sounds like, she lost a fight.
But she made a stupid mistake by not looking out further. She wasn't as prepared as she should have been. I'm not sure. I just know her death was not one that was earned, and that brings up interesting things about the afterlife that you may or may not believe or care about. But
While Ste'yn was telling us about the dreams, Snow used Detect Thoughts so that he could see what it looked like from her point of view as she's thinking about it and rehashing it.
Are you using just the one charge for the 1 minute or whatever it is?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, are you digging deeper or surface thoughts?
No, he just wants to see what it looked like from her perspective as he was viewing it. Or he just wanted to see what it looked like from the way she was experiencing the dream. So
Okay.
just to go along with her words, like, oh, yep, that's what that looked like. That's
Yeah.
horrible.
So it's not gonna be like motion capture movie if it's just like the surface thoughts. It's gonna be that feeling, which would be truly horrible, and like the still, right? So if you're gonna focus in on it, or if you're gonna use surface thoughts, it'll be like a still moment. So you'd see her turn, right, and you would see Komugal from her perspective. You'd see the chickens from her perspective. You'd see the hand from her perspective, the sword, but as like stills.
Do you think the
If
hooded
he could
figure?
see, since
Sorry.
no, you're good.
No, if Snow was doing that while she was explaining, the last still he would have seen would have been that last image she had in her mind of the baby with the roses.
And the baby.
Which he does not remark on.
Viola?
Viola's gonna ask Ste'yn, do you think the hooded figure that Kalain saw is the same as the man that was in that room in the keep with
It's
the
a good question.
snake lady?
Was there similarity?
Other than it being a dark cloak in a dark setting, it might be hard to tell.
It's hard to tell, but it is telling that there are dark-cloaked humanoid figures involved in this. That points to a lot more intelligence in the dark than people want to believe.
Well, there's certainly not an absence of intelligence, and he will tell them about the experiments from the journal.
Viola starts crying.
What's this doctor's name?
Horrible.
Not listed.
Never have. But it's not listed.
It just says the doctor.
Has Beau ever heard of somebody called the Doctor? Okay.
Well, now that we've set the mood, Viola will wipe her tears. I guess we should get
Why
on
are
the
you
road.
crying?
Because it was
Very
horrible,
sad.
Beau.
Ste'yn will wrap an arm around Viola.
I mean, the notes happened. I don't.
But there's people behind those notes, and to think about what they experienced,
It's a lot.
it's just heartbreaking.
Hmm.
Viola will go ahead and climb up into the carriage.
And you guys start making your way. Without any further interruptions, you'd arrive quite late, seeing the city gates come into view, seeing DnDBeyond and making it back to the city. You are welcomed back by Peace Watchmen. Glad to see your safe return. Welcome, welcome. They'll take care of they'll see the cart, kind of look it over. Oh, that doesn't look. His buddy kind of elbows him. So it's an upgrade. Move on. Come on. And they'll handle the cart. They'll get
It
pistachio.
grew.
Grew 3 sizes that day. So you've returned. You know that generally a return means a debrief from an assignment.
The first thing Viola's doing is going to the stables and looking for Buttercup.
They'll hook you up with a town wagon, get you there so you don't have to walk the whole way. They'll totally hook you up.
We gonna take Buttercup for a spin?
I mean, Buttercup's not up here. You can get a horse and this wagon and get 2 Buttercup.
Oh.
What are the others? Are you guys going with her? What are you guys doing? Now you're back.
Ste'yn was gonna make her way to Sakers.
Oh, Beau or I guess go with her.
Yeah, we have things to do there, I think.
Okay.
Well, it seems like Snow stopped having to make those. So maybe that dimension seems to be working for him, but it's not working for Beau. Whatever he's got going on.
You caught the flu.
You got the flu. Beau, what all did you? Oh,
The evil flu.
What did you change about? I know exactly what I heard. What Snow did. What did Beau do?
Beau hasn't. What do you mean? Change what?
Well, I mean, never mind. Never mind.
I mean, Beau, to his knowledge and to my knowledge, he didn't pick up anything that would be giving him any issues. So.
No, you're good.
It wasn't the goblin note, you know that.
It wasn't the goblin note. What did Beau put? Did Beau put anything in the bag of holding?
No, because I was looking through and there's not really anything particularly that he needs to have. I mean, I guess he could throw in a hammer. Because he has that for some
If
reason.
you would like. Do you?
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah, you could put a hammer
Gotcha.
in there. I doubt
Okey-doke.
that's gonna come up. To need
Bye,
it.
Amber.
Oh, and he also doesn't need the lantern on
No
hand either.
more charisma saving throws.
So yeah. So also
All of a sudden
a
you're clear.
lantern lamp thing.
Okay.
What kind is it? A hooded lantern?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, the only thing that he picked up from that place he sold the bow that he picked up. He has a scimitar still and the 9-sided die, which none of these things are ringing magical to Ste'yn. So to his knowledge, he has nothing that he needs to put in for whatever he's got going on.
Who signed for your mission, your assignment?
Wasn't it
Bria?
Bria? Yeah.
Yeah.
Bria
There's a whole
was
thing
the.
about it.
Bria
It's
did
true.
the one thing, and then
Bria, Nora,
Nora.
and Canyon.
yeah, Canyon was the
Yeah.
client, and then those two were like our bosses.
Cool. So yeah, Bria was the. Per your rule book, did anyone read it?
No.
Did anyone get a chance to read
Didn't get
it?
a chance to.
Golly, you guys make this so difficult.
And it's so nice and pretty.
Snow,
If you had just read it, I
Snow
could be like,
skimmed
here's where
it,
you go.
saw that it was just a lot of rules, and then didn't read any
And
further.
then it got washed.
Yeah.
Well, you
so
do
like,
know,
oh, well.
you do know that debrief is the immediate after,
Yeah.
because you've been told before.
Yeah, but we're off to Saker's Keep.
But you're off to Saker's
It's the middle of the
instead.
night. We don't want to. We don't want to
Yeah, we'll
bother
debrief
Nora
first thing in the
middle of night.
morning.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
Viola, you make your way to the Rising Gates stable, and Sazian, you see him, and he does his turn to greet, but he doesn't lift his eyes. He keeps his head low and welcomes you back, and he does sort of preempt you. The young horse, Buttercup, she's sleeping now, but she is in from her day of training.
Well, thank you, Sazian, and I hope you've been well while we've been gone. I'll just go in and take a peek at her then. I don't want to disturb her, but it was a bit of a rough trip towards the end, and I was just seeking a little comfort, so I won't be but a minute.
He nods, and all you see is he's just in his grimy cloak and the mask that goes over his nose and across. So all you can even see is just, well, really nothing, as his head is bowed. He lets you be. As you're with Buttercup, you don't really hear him. It's just when you turn, you suddenly see there's like a little, like, carrot stick as like a treat for her. But he's already back where he was, if he's the one who left it. Did you guys tell her you were going to Saker's? So
Yeah.
she can...
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
I assume
Yeah, hopefully.
Viola would have told them where she was going, and when she told them, then they would have told
Yeah.
her.
Okay.
But she'll feed Buttercup the carrot and spend some time with her, and then on her way out, she'll ask Sazian how the preparations are going for the Harvest Lamps Festival and all that, because I'm sure there's a lot to do around here.
And he nods his head. It's going well, and I think everyone will enjoy it. Preparations are already underway. There's all manner of people who have come to see us, so it should be enjoyable for everyone participating.
Is this a festival that Juventus would celebrate as well?
Yes.
Okay. Viola can assume they'd be pretty similar.
Yes. It is a harvest autumn festival, especially in these two kingdoms.
Okay. Then Viola will just start to make her way out. Well, Sazian, thank you so much for allowing me to come in and see Buttercup and visit with her. And I hope you're able to have some fun at the Harvest Lamps Festival as well. And I hope you have a wonderful evening. And she'll wait to see how he responds, and then she'll...
He nods and he wishes you the same. He adds on that he'll make sure that Buttercup is continued well taken care of.
Thank you very much, Sazian. And she'll leave the cart and horse there with him, and then she'll start to make her way to Saker's Keep.
Okay. We'll say you guys... Are you going to wait for Viola? We'll say you wait
No.
for Viola.
I don't
No?
think we were waiting.
No?
She
At
didn't
She was
Saker's,
say-
going
you
off
just walk
to-
inside?
Yeah.
Yeah, these two
Okay.
have memory problems. They need care.
They have memory problems.
I'm
Okay.
fine.
You make your
Okay.
way to Saker's Keep. There are a couple of the graveyard shift acolytes who are outside, who nod at you and welcome you in. They ask and remind you that they are in quiet hours, and please respect this.
We're
In the evening
quiet
time.
hours. Okay.
Thank you. And you're... They allow you to go in through that little kind of inner courtyard and then into the atrium. Who are you looking for? What are you looking for?
Anyone that can help us?
Cool.
You know, it seems like just yesterday that we were trying to figure out how to break into this place. Good times.
Ste'yn would be looking particularly for Aglin or Gawaro, someone she's talked to before.
It takes a few minutes, but you see every now and then an acolyte that will like pass through.
As they're
One starts to go
walking-
through.
Oh, sorry.
Well, one starts to pass by and turns to see you. A young man, he's got fair skin, he's got black hair. He sees you, and he recognizes you immediately, Ste'yn. You see Yonai, who is on the graveyard shift as he smiles and approaches. Up late again, I see. Good evening.
It's a habit of ours. Good evening to you too. We
Hello.
Hello.
Hi.
are seeking some assistance, and I was wondering if Aglin or Gawaro are around, or someone who might could help.
Oh, Aglin, definitely. I think Head Celebrant is resting at the moment. But yeah, what did you need?
We
We've
need
come across some
Aglin.
some
Fetch
interesting
him.
situations in our last assignment, and need advice or input on how to take care of a situation that's made itself known.
He kind of looks between Beau and Ste'yn and he nods. Are you hurt?
Not physically.
Come on. And he as you follow him, and he takes you back to that room where he had brought Snow originally, or that Aglin had brought Snow. There's a series of beds, there are drapes around each one, and he pulls two aside. He doesn't actually know how many you need, he just pulls two aside, two of the drapes, offers a bed. I'll go get Aglin. If you're not in immediate life or death, then,
No.
Don't die while I'm gone. And he, Atala doesn't need you that soon,
don't
I'm
do
sure.
that.
So what is quiet hour? Or time, or whatever, Ste'yn?
You
Yonai
keep
goes.
quiet.
Oh yeah, he was saying that when Go and I left.
Okay.
The practice of keeping as close to silence as you can for certain hours of the day or night.
Why?
Why not?
Because what's the benefit?
Ease of resting, peace, calm, focus.
It's a thing that temples do. I don't know. You just learn to live with it.
Or you learn to appreciate it. And as Aglin
Ew.
is walking in, his hands kind of clasped around his belly as he's walking in to see you. Welcome back, and good to see you're not in the same state you were. How can I help you?
We are having
How's the-
blackouts.
Ooh.
Not
Or memory losses.
blackouts. Them too.
All right. Have a seat. Like offers you the. Did you guys sit on the beds?
He was standing.
He'd motion towards one of the beds. Shall we take a look?
What are you looking at?
I
Or
don't
how
know
about
yet.
this? Do Snow first.
And Ste'yn will explain that
I
they tried
volunteer as
detecting
tribute.
magic, they tried detecting evil and
Identify.
good, identify, basically the whole gamut of what they did. She lets Aglin know. That way he doesn't waste time trying the same things.
All right.
Yeah,
And
the divination hasn't been helping.
that's
Maybe
unfortunate.
some abjuration. I don't
Some
actually know.
protection. Well, I don't know either until I take a look. So, yeah, you explain that detect magic hasn't worked, and you've used identify, you've used all these different things, and he asks you, like, when did this begin? When was the first time you experienced this?
Here's the thing, I don't remember.
It was
The
first
you
time
had
I-
a blackout?
It was, I think, like 3 days ago.
Okay.
it was
And you
after
don't-
we washed up on a river.
I think it was the day it was the day we arrived to Hazelfoot. Because
Okay.
it's the arriving to Hazelfoot that I don't.
Huh. All right. And when you were on your way to Hazelford, you didn't pick up anything, you didn't see anyone.
Picked up so much stuff.
Fantastic. Did you check each of those things? Lay them
Yes,
out before you.
afterwards.
Look one by one.
Every magical thing.
You laid it all out?
We did our divination.
He identified
as
it all.
we explained already. I identified everything. She detected everything for magic. That's how I knew what to identify.
I see. And this was the same for you? He's looking at you, Beau.
What do you mean?
we touched all the things and saw all the things, or did
Well,
we
I
just
didn't have
kind of?
anything that anyone saw of value. Like nothing glue.
Sometimes it's a matter of things that are not seemingly important, but I don't know, honestly. This is the first thing that comes to mind when it comes to memory would be enchantment tends to be something that can modify one's memory. I don't know that I've seen it have complete blanking out of memory. Well, I'd ask if you wanted to stay here and be observed for a few days, but something tells me you don't.
No,
You
what are
read
the
my
other
mind.
options?
Maybe like a remove curse, a greater restoration. Clerics usually have those
Indeed.
kinds of things.
He looks over you guys, but you didn't see any spells being or active on you. Any cursed items?
Well, probably the cursed items. That would be my guess, but I'm not really sure. Speaking of cursed items, how is the ruby guarding business going?
Fine as I know. That's now the head celebrant's territory.
All right. Well, we got another one. And Snow just reaches into the bag of holding and pulls it out.
There's more rubies.
Looks like it.
Yes.
Now that is interesting.
Interesting,
see
like you
him-
know
Glad.
what's wrong. So far, it doesn't seem like you've gone in any direction to help.
Well, I just got some new information. That's how it works. And you see him kind of mulling something over in his mind as you've introduced this ruby. And he says, there's more rubies. And you came across that ruby while you were traveling? Was that something you found before you arrived at Hazelford?
Yes.
Correct.
Okay.
Same day, actually.
Is that the only one you have?
Yep.
Is it affecting you right now?
Well, I don't know, do I?
Well,
Probably,
you don't
if this
seem-
is what the problem is, but I don't know. Ste'yn, how badly do you want to steal it?
I don't.
How close are you to staying right now?
Or do you?
Or do you?
Snow would have sat down on the bed, so Ste'yn can be however close she wants.
She may be staying close
And
to them
Snow-
too. She's concerned
yeah.
about them.
Yeah,
Okay.
and Snow is like watching her intently.
And Aglin looks between this dwarven man is looking between Snow, looks between Ste'yn. I don't see her scratching your eyes out to get it. Isn't that interesting? Do I
It is
may I
nice
take a look at
tender
it?
Pace. There you go.
You put it in his hand. He looks it over. Kind of looks a little silly. He's like touching it to his cheek, shaking it by his ear.
You listen really closely, you can hear the blood sloshing inside.
Oh,
Mm.
fantastic. I thought you were going to say you could hear the ocean.
I just made that up. I didn't actually try doing
Oh,
it.
maybe
Can
you
you?
can hear the ocean. Almost. He's like cupping it. As you guys are kind of like half joking about this, and he's like just observing it. He looks at it. So you're sure you only have the one?
I don't have any other rubies.
As far as we can tell, unless it was hidden from detect magic.
Things can be hidden. Would it be all right to add this to Head Celebrant Goro's collection of protection?
I don't want them.
Fantastic.
Nothing I
And he
can do with
closes
it.
his hand around it, and he has it in a little. Well, he just holds it. He doesn't have anywhere to put it at the moment. Okay, I'll make sure that this gets with the Head Celebrant. We'll see if this one is any different. I think his own little experiment is almost done, depending on how many days have gone by.
Well,
To
if
see
you
how
think
well
it's
that blood
hidden,
holds up.
The only two things that I got from where that gem came from are these. And he puts out the scimitar and the die, the 9-sided die. Those are the only.
Where did he get the scimitar from?
He got it from the goblin that he killed.
Oh, do you mind leaving these with us as well?
Well, can't you just look at it now?
I certainly can. He kind of observes it and doesn't seem terribly impressed by it. I don't
Yeah.
think this is causing anything.
I told you I didn't have any.
I mean, if that's all you have and you don't have a ruby, then I guess not. Sorry, this is a bit of a mystery, but maybe...
Well, maybe it was just a thing because of the place we were in. You could just,
I don't think it was
Possible.
help us
that.
out, and then we'll move on.
So he'll do like a gamut of, just a restoration or some kind of restorative potion, some kind of curse removal from you two. He kind of laughs it off a little bit as, I don't normally get to give this kind of treatment. It's not normally so hazardous. So this is a nice change of pace, to be honest. But first and foremost, of course, we want to make sure you're okay. But if you do notice any other memory loss and such, certainly let us know so we can observe and make sure that we figure out what exactly it is. Because at this moment, unless you're willing to stay and I can get the head celebrant, well, I don't know where he is at the moment, but
I heard he was
if
sleeping.
you're willing to sleep over,
No, I'm good. I'm good, thanks.
We'll
Okay.
see if your treatment worked.
I hope it does. All right.
Thank you.
You're welcome to some tea on your way out, or in the prayer chambers if you wanted to stay and pray a little bit.
I'm good.
Sorry to disappoint you that I can't have all the answers at the snap of a finger. Some things do take time.
I didn't expect you to.
I did expect me to. I'm a little disappointed. He looks back at the ruby.
Feelings mutual.
Oh, good. Then once we figure it out, we'll all be very happy.
All right.
Um,
Well,
he'll
shall we go?
mhm. And as you guys are heading out, just along as you did, check everything. Make sure you're not.
What are you
I'm not-
implying?
All I'm saying is not everyone wants to share everything they have. You know, if you have a little girl who has her little journal and a diary or something like that, she's not going to want to offer that up.
Look,
I'm saying amongst yourselves as friends, if you've shared everything, you've shared everything.
the only time I started having memory issues is after we got that gem. So the only things that I picked up were the things I showed you.
Perfect. Then I'll get to researching this further. If you need anything else, our doors are always open.
Thank you very much.
Of course. Sleep well. Maybe that's part of the problem. You don't look like a group that sleeps much.
I have no idea what you're talking about. Good night.
Have a good night. As you guys are heading out, is probably when Viola would finally catch up. Hey, they made it! Oh, you're leaving. As you are heading out, actually, I'll say, you see someone does get your attention. It is not Jeremy. I'm afraid. You're going to be very disappointed. As you are leaving, you hear someone call out to the four of you. And you haven't seen him in a minute, but you recognize him. It's just odd to see him not attached to Nora's side as Vaughn
You.
approaches. He sees you and he kind of eyes you. You've come in late. Welcome
We
back.
just got in.
You're up late too.
I am, but I'm on duty, so where I'm needed, I go. But if you are back, well, I won't keep you. I hope you'll get some rest. But when you are done resting, if you could make your way to the rally district for your debrief, that would be appreciated.
What, is Nora still just held up in our house?
He kind of bristles a little bit as you say that. Held up is not the word I would use. If she's using good judgment to stay resting, then good.
Is she feeling
I wouldn't
any
ask her to
better,
come
at
back
least?
here. She says as much. I think so, yes.
Well, we will make sure to go pay her a visit as soon as we're able to tomorrow morning.
Perfect. Then make sure you get rest. And he'll head back into the depths of Saker's Keep. You hear a distant door creak open, like one of the prayer rooms. Where are you guys sleeping? Are you guys actually sleeping in your barracks? I imagine.
Viola
Not all
is
of you.
going back to her bed to check her mailbox and make sure that her armor is where she left it.
Ste'yn's headed to the graveyard.
Mailbox, graveyard. Beau had a nice spot on a wall he found
Stan.
before he left.
So Beau is going to probably leave, go past the wall, and go find something else, since the other time it wasn't very fruitful that he went.
Going hunting?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. Give me a quick survival check.
Oh my gosh, it's 9.
Oh,
Oh no.
Beau, what are you doing? You had a whole greater restoration and a remove curse, and you should feel fresh as a daisy.
Oh, you gonna give me advantage for it?
I say you should feel fresh as a daisy.
And yet.
It's not as bad as like the sad little squirrels, like the sad little bony squirrels anyway. It's, you find a little something out there, but it's just, again, when you're this close to the cities, it's just not going to be as satisfying of a catch. But you do find enough to satisfy, like to sustain you anyway. Viola, you head back to the barracks. You checked your mailbox. You do see a little, never mind. No, you don't. It's fine. You're fine. You go back to the barracks. The room is mostly just full of sleeping ladies.
Wait. When she walks through the wild pike, she keeps an eye out for the polar bear.
Through the wild pike?
Very important.
Okay. You don't see the polar bear and the wild pike.
Boo. Somewhere else that I didn't look.
You, give me a perception check.
15.
Okay. As you're passing through the hall beyond the wild pike, you know that it's not too far from the mess hall, and it's quiet in there, but there's like the late night roaming folks who are probably cleaning or something or other. You peek your head inside. Is this more important than your armor?
No.
You peek your head inside, very, very far off in a little corner, all alone, surrounded by an array of these empty dishes that have some leftover bones and some tossed aside little like toothpicks and stuff. You see this big white creature.
It's real.
Sitting over the table, kind of finishing one last of something on that plate.
She makes a mental note that she's seen him hanging out in the mess hall around this time. So she's gonna come back and check. Excuse me. When she has more time.
Okay. And when you get up to the barracks, you see that the beds are mostly full, and very delicately on a soft kind of like a bedroll and placed down, and gleaming, absolutely gleaming, is this beautiful golden armor set beside your bed. And it's on like the side of the bed that like is less visible from the other beds. Waiting for you. She
immediately takes off her mithril chainmail and puts back her armor on.
Like
not going
midnight,
to bed?
1 a.m. I need it.
She's gonna sleep in her armor tonight. She's been missing it.
Everyone else just like wakes up to the sounds of like clanking plates
armor.
And
What is going on?
tightening of the straps and everything.
You're messing up Cynthia's beauty sleep.
Really? And
Viola moves closer to Cynthia and rattles around a little bit more, but she wouldn't do that.
And then Ste'yn and Snow, you guys cozy up in the graveyard, the cemetery of Saker's Keep, so you didn't have far to go at all. It's
just
quiet
to
out there.
Clarify quickly, the mailboxes were empty. Checked Beau and Snow's and Ste'yn's as well, just so that she could tell them if it was glowing.
They're empty for now.
Okay.
You guys cozy up in the cemetery where it's nice and comfortable, and there's company between the two of you anyway. It's not people roaming around. But you do see the occasional acolyte in the distance or walking in and out of the keep. And you rest your heads and fall asleep.
Before they go to sleep, Snow does his song of rest and also gives inspiration to Ste'yn in hopes that she sleeps better. And maybe doesn't wake up with blood on her, but he's not really sure what to make of that.
We're not sure why that happened.
Nope.
Morning comes. An eventful night. Viola, you wake up sleeping. See, you're not accustomed to sleeping in armor. That's the problem. So, for you to get a full night's rest, I don't know that that's what goes down when you sleep in your armor. Although you just came from traveling, so I think you're okay. I'm tempted to give you the level of exhaustion. It's yours. Too late. I said it. You slept in armor and it's super uncomfortable.
Has she
Welcome
never
to
slept
Ste'yn's
in
life.
armor before? I thought she
Viola?
was semi-nomadic.
Viola? I don't
She
think.
normally doesn't, no.
Oh.
So you'll have that
Ste'yn's getting
exhaustion,
used
but
to
in
it.
your heart you feel good because your armor's back.
Boo.
You wake up. It was kind of fitful, but it's still, your 8 hours. So it's morning. You actually hear the otherwise quiet, but you see Lear. She's coming in and she's kind of like getting her day started, just making the bed. She kind of hears your armor moving and looks over, sees you. You're back! Welcome back.
I am back, and thank you so much for keeping track of my armor. I missed it. I missed it so much I decided to sleep in it. And even though
Wasn't the smartest
Viola
idea.
And even though Viola's acting very excited, she does have some dark circles under her eyes.
You should probably get some breakfast. Something to wake you up a little bit.
That is a great place to start. And Viola will climb out of bed. Is that where you were headed? Have you had breakfast yet?
I had to eat already because I was already downstairs and I was working. But well, I was actually going to meet some people because we have some plans. So okay, I was gonna wait till I found you and Ste'yn, but so one of the things that we do, at least when I've seen other people celebrate the Harvest Lambs Festival, and at least I heard it happens here. So the bunks can get together, and then they do like a special something for the festival, and I wanted to get us all together to do something because we've never done anything like all together as a group, like all the girls. So I thought it'd be really fun. So that's what we were gonna go do.
Yeah, that's a great idea. I'm so very much here for that.
Yeah?
Let's do it.
Yes. Well, first you need breakfast, and Lear will like drag you down to the mess hall, make sure you are fed, kind of ask you how your trip went and what your plans are for the day. When you go down there, you don't see the bear, by the way.
Viola will say like, oh yeah, the trip, we gotta go and debrief with Nora this morning. I need to find the others. I'm guessing that Snow and Ste'yn are in the graveyard again. Who knows where Beau is? So I need to find those three. And then we need to head over to the Rally District to debrief with Captain Nora. So I might have
The
to
Rally
skip out on the
District?
Atlantic. Yeah. She's still in her house at the moment, apparently, according to Vaughn.
And all this seems like kind of news to her. Like, oh, that's okay.
Maybe I wasn't supposed to say that, so maybe don't repeat that.
I won't say a word. That's cool. Have you been there already?
To the Rally District?
Yeah.
Yeah, a couple times. Although the first time wasn't that smooth. Yeah.
You really went over there? Did you have an assignment or something?
Sure. We got an assignment.
You guys went to the rally. That is so cool. You guys
I also had
so
to get
cool.
Nora to sign some paperwork so I could train with Storkum.
She's done it.
And then
What?
I know, isn't it just the coolest thing ever? I'm so excited for it.
You called him by his first name? Are you guys like dating or something?
I wish,
And
but
the rumors
no.
start.
Oh my goodness. Okay. I'm gonna find the girls and you go to the Rally District. But I need to hear everything when you get back. And bring Ste'yn.
Yes, Ste'yn and I will find you whenever we get back. I promise. And Viola will hold out her pinky.
She'll take your pinky. And then she gives you a hug and then she sends you on your way and she heads into her shift, so to speak.
Viola will also grab a couple extra breakfast items to take with her for the other three.
Perfect. Where are you guys meeting?
We never said.
Viola's
Lovely.
gonna head towards the graveyard because that's the last other place she's heard of Ste'yn sleeping, so.
Beautiful. Speaking of graveyards, Snow and Ste'yn, you guys wake up with the chirping of the birds and the autumn breeze rolling in. Or I should say the harvest lamps breeze rolling in. You give me a quick perception check.
Strong 6.
That is a 28.
Okay. Ste'yn, the moment you open your eyes, your back is turned to Snow, and he's just kind of like sprawled out up towards the sky. And you open your eyes to a silver, or like a metal tray. And there are 2 teacups that are just kind of perpetually like steaming, and a pot of tea, and a little card on it that when you turn it, it's just like a little like triangular, like tinted card. And you turn it and it just says, "Good morning, Atala's light be with you." And it's just like a dash Y in common.
Sweet. Ste'yn will pick up the tray and turn to put it between herself and Snow and say good morning. You and I brought us tea.
Oh, that was nice of him. How did you sleep?
Much better than the last few nights.
Oh, I forgot to have you roll a wisdom. No kidding.
Any blood?
Any blood?
I should have just peel the armor off real quick. Nah, we're good.
No,
You
nothing
don't
is
feel
that. That's something to talk to, I think, Aurora more about than the emissaries.
I'm surprised you
What?
didn't mention it to Aglin.
We needed to get you two taken care of, and rest was also needed for us all. It's been a long trip.
Well, I don't know if you actually did anything, but it was a long trip, that's for sure. Although, technically, it's longer to you than it is to me.
Can't believe you lost so much memory. And
Nothing exciting happened, right? You would have told me.
I don't think there was anything of particular note for the periods you lost memory. I think we covered most of it. But are you alright? You lost some important things in the water.
I mean, it's just things.
Is it? And she'll reach out and put a hand on his shoulder.
No, it wasn't.
Those were
But-
important to you.
They're gone now. It doesn't matter.
I'm sorry that you lost them. And then, before then, how are you after killing that gnoll? You don't like death.
It deserved it.
All creatures of the dark have earned their death by being. But why?
Why what?
Why take that gnoll's life? You don't like killing things. Have you ever killed something before?
Yes.
Before the gnoll?
Yes.
I'm surprised.
Gnolls don't deserve to live.
They don't. No creatures of the dark do. But you went very cold after it. Are you alright?
I would be better if they didn't exist.
That's understandable.
They are everything that's wrong with the world.
They're a pretty good approximation of a lot of things that are wrong with the world. But I don't think gnolls are the biggest problem in the world.
Well, they are to me.
Fair?
Those things are the antithesis of all that I love and all that I see that is good.
That's pretty harsh coming from the poet.
They are and will always be my enemy.
I hope you get to vanquish them. They've already earned their deaths, just need to be given it.
My only regret is that it lived as long as it did and suffered as little as it did.
That dark. To enjoy the suffering of something. I didn't expect that from you. There's one thing to mete out death, it's another to take delight in the suffering that can come before.
What they deserve. And it's not enough to make up for what they've done.
Dan just
You
kind of
didn't
nods.
see what I saw.
I didn't. I can't imagine to have seen what you saw. I'm very sorry you saw what you saw. Don't let the horrors you've witnessed drain the light that you have within. And she's going to pick up one of the teacups and take a sip.
And as if punctuating this discovered sort of accentuated darkness sort of lying behind Snow's eyes. In the distance, you hear a gently tolling bell. And there's movement now about Saker's Keep. That's just such a division from this moment. And a harsh dragging you back to kind of reality around you. People are moving about, talking wistfully, and some are entering into the graveyard area as going about intending to their duties. Without understanding what had just happened, they'll some nod and smile in your direction as time moves forward. You guys did not agree on a meeting area, but were you guys planning to find the others? Or, I know Viola's, I think, on her way.
I think Ste'yn assumed that Viola would come back here, and then they would go find Beau, if he didn't also make his way here.
Beau needs to get his way into the town.
I was gonna say, Beau, where are you?
Yeah, he just stayed out in the woods after his not so great search
Hunting
last night.
Adventure.
Yeah, he just set up an alarm and then went to bed where he was.
Okay.
So he still needs to
You'd be up
get
with
back.
the sun.
Instead of going into the graveyard, could he actually just go to the rally district?
Yes, probably.
Because he knows that's where they're going anyway. He's going to go to Nora's house ahead of them.
And you move pretty quick too with your
Yeah.
amazing speed. Sure. Yeah. You make your way to Nora's house. You head to the rally district. Same situation with your familiar. You can see through. Find when the coast is clear. Up and over the wall. Easy enough. You get to Nora's. Are you just walking up to the front door? Or
Yeah, I
You're
mean,
just
he's not
waiting
gonna
there
he's
with
not
them.
gonna stealth into the back. He's not gonna stealth into the house, so he's gonna try and the old knock approach.
the good old knock approach.
Yeah.
Okay. As you are approaching the house, give me a perception check. Make it a good one.
It's not.
Dang it!
Right now it's a 5.
Yes,
or,
you need
or
your
an
psionic
11.
die. Oh yeah, no, that's good. Perfect.
Okay, cool.
Scratch the die. You're approaching the house, and kind of instinct almost makes you want to try and sneak inside, but you're like, no, I can handle just going through the front door like a normal person. That's totally fine when you're invited somewhere. Before you get there, you hear a soft sound from the back of the house. And you quickly realize it's a melody that you heard briefly before, coming from the back.
I'll go back there.
Okay. You're just gonna walk over? You're going to sneak?
I mean, he's not
It's up to
like
you.
running
Sure.
bombastically, so yeah, just can't
Okay.
walk.
You walk towards the back, and you see the familiar garden area outside at the back of the house, and where the areas of the house kind of look over this garden, but otherwise it's a short path from the back door to the low gate of the garden. You hear the tune now, loud and clear, that soft Peosian lullaby, as you see Captain Nora is sitting outside on the bench, one of the benches in the garden. And she just appears to be staring down at the flower bed. It's still half crunched from a previous encounter with you, in fact. And you can see in her hand, well, you can see her hand is kind of resting up just below her neck as the lullaby from her locket is playing. She doesn't hear you approach. She doesn't appear to hear you approach, or she doesn't acknowledge you. She's just staring at the garden bed and listening to this lullaby. And I think that is where we will end tonight's session. Thank you from all of us here at Tales from the Catacombs. Catch up and recapture your favorite moments by subscribing to the channel. we appreciate you guys journeying with us to bring clean content to the world of tabletop RPGs. A particularly huge thank you to my players, whose links are in the description below. Please take a moment to follow these tremendous people and their exciting endeavors. David, who plays Beau, Catherine, who plays Ste'yn, Kassie, who plays Viola, and Josh, who plays Snow. I'm Brenna, I am your storyteller for this adventure, and we will see you back here next time. Safe travels, until we meet again.